Hi there, this is the Art Life video blog number 111. I'm Karla Britfeld.
My name is Jacob Wolf. Thank you, Carla, for having me here.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here.
You really have a lovely home.
Thank you.
I love all of the art and all the instruments that you have. Are you the musician?
Well, it's both my husband and I. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we both play music. I started out as a young kid, 12 years old, taught myself to play guitar, and I also taught myself drawing when I was really young, like most kids.
Yeah.
And was entering art contests. Back in the 60s, it was, they would have magazines with pictures in them, and they were just drawings and saying, draw this and send this in. And so I was winning prizes and doing things like that when I was like 6, 7 years old. So I was always interested in art, and then from there, music, and even before music was dance. So I've always been interested in the arts, and I was also cooking when I was 8 years old. Bought my first cookbook when I was 8. So yeah, music and art and dance has always been a big part of my life.
Who were some of your early inspirations?
Both my parents. My dad was an amateur model railroad engineer, and he designed model railroad sets in the basement of our house in northern Alberta where I grew up. And incidentally, we did not have television when I was a little kid, so when I was bored, my mom would say, go draw a picture. So yeah, it was my dad, first of all. He was a big inspiration. He liked working with his hands, he liked making things. He was very talented. It was just all amateur, all self-taught. And then my mom was an amateur oil painter. I never did go into oils. I just thought they were too messy and smelly and take too long to dry. So I didn't do that, but I did drawing, and from there I did watercolor, took watercolor classes, and ceramics and jewelry making. And then after a few years of doing watercolor, I got bored with it. It's just, the aim was just for such realism, and I thought, I am never going to be an awesome watercolor artist. There are really great people out there. I respect them and admire them tremendously, but I'm just never going to be one of those people. And I was starting to get really bored, and just with the medium, the watercolor and the paper, once you put that water and color down, that's it. You can't do any blending, you can't do anything else with it. And I did nice paintings, but I just didn't feel that they were me. So then got into the music and taught myself to play keyboard.
Wow.
And so my husband and I were doing jazz for a while. And then, let's see, how did I get into acrylics? Okay, this is kind of a funny story. It was a few years ago. I was actually laying in bed with the flu, sick as a dog, and you know when you're laying in bed, you're sick. It just gets boring laying there. So I turned on the TV, I turned on YouTube, and I typed in abstract art. And up came all these YouTube videos of people demonstrating their art. And I just went, I cannot wait to get out of this bed and start painting. I am just so enthused. And then I think I went and took some little class somewhere locally here down in Selwood. It was just some real rank beginner's class, but it was like, okay, yeah, acrylics, yeah, you can blend this, it dries fast, you can go over top of this, you can use a lot more expression with acrylics than with watercolor, and they don't take 3 months to dry. So that's basically what got me painting with acrylics, was about a flu and watching YouTube. So, and as far as the subject matter goes, basically abstracts are what I really like. But I think I've been influenced by some of my friends' comments and my husband's comments, like, what is that? You know? So I do some more realistic type of work as well. And I've blended, some of my paintings have blended some of my watercolors with some of the acrylics. And it's just, to me, it's just all about having fun.
Where do you draw your inspiration for the paintings now?
Really, whatever I'm in the mood for.
Yeah. Are there artists that you look up to?
Originally, I really liked Van Gogh, but there's no one particular artist, and if you look around, you can see there is no one painting that resembles the other.
Right.
They're just all over the board. It's everything from a sunset to one that I call billiards, to a magpie, which is realistic. This one I call New Day. I don't know why I called it that. It's just a lot of sponging. This one is very geometric. Just saw this guy putting down tape one time and painting. And I thought, I'm going to try that. You get those nice crisp edges. And just tried all these different colors. Sometimes, some of my paintings come from something that I tried that never worked out. This one right back here had underneath it some florals. Started out with some florals. Terrible. It was awful. Put something else over top of it, some cross hatch marks. That's not working. Spray painted over it with silver and white, and then decided to mark squares, and then go over top of the marks underneath. So it's not an inspiration from any artist. It's just coming from me.
Right.
I don't have any one particular artist that I really greatly admire and say, yeah, I would like to paint just like this person. I really do want my artwork to look like me, and I think since I've only been doing this acrylic work for 2 or 3 years, I don't have anything that is super consistent yet other than being mostly large and bright. And I want them to just brighten up my home and make me feel happy. And some of my friends have bought some of my paintings off me, which is really nice. And I've entered into some art shows, and I've got some artwork in a really good gallery out in Oregon City right now. So it's nice to be recognized by some gallery owners as being that I've produced some work that they like well enough to hang in their galleries. Like, wow, that's an honor to me.
Right on. I guess, man, I had something else to say. Sometimes I have brain farts.
I kind of go on a bit.
Where would you like to see your art go in the future? Do you have a goal?
I don't have a goal. I do have a goal. My goal in life is to be happy.
Yeah.
That's all it's about. Have a good time and be happy. Realistically, art is very hard to sell. It's hard to be famous. It's hard to be famous. There seems to be a lot of, it's who you know, just like the entertainment business. If I never get famous and I never make a lot of money from this, that's okay with me. I'm just having a good time.
Right on.
I'm happy. I'm the happiest when I'm painting.
That was what I was going to ask you. How often are you painting?
Almost every day.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've got wet painting up there on the table right now.
Do you have a studio?
That's my studio.
The kitchen table?
Yes, that's right. That's my studio. It's the best light right there. I have a room on the other side that faces north. It's big and light, but that light seems to be the best. And it's all really about the light. There's a lot of windows there and the doors and a big light hanging overhead and a kitchen light. So even in the middle of winter, with a big overhead light like that, I've got, I can see what I'm doing.
Hello.
Hello.
Is this the... Hello. Hi. Is this the bulk of your work that you have hanging up, or do you have like a bunch more in storage?
This is the majority of them right here. There's a few pieces in an art show, and I've got a few pieces upstairs, and a few pieces in the hallway there, and a few in the closet. I don't know. Yeah. So I've only got about 50 or 60 pieces.
Right on.
Yeah.
Let's take the camera and pan around the room a little bit,
okay,
and we can talk about a few of them.
Here's an abstract where people say, well, this could go either way. And this is actually the way I had it hanging earlier. And I called this one Hatching Raptor. Because to me, it looks like some kind of a, baby dinosaur coming out of an egg. So Yeah, I'll just paint something and then I'll name it later. And I don't know what it is that I'm painting.
It becomes what it becomes.
It becomes what it becomes, exactly. And I get ideas from different places. This one right here that I call architecture, I had an Architectural Digest magazine and it had this home on there. And it had those colors in there like that. Only it was a whole house. And so I took the inspiration from that to make something like this, like a little bit Mondrian-ish. Then there's one kind of creepy painting up here that my husband and I named Terror. I didn't know what to call it. He called it Terror. And it started out with just paint that I had dripped on there. And he sat there looking at it and saying, I see a bunch of creepy faces in there. So I went and added on the creepy faces, the creepy eyes, the ghouls, the ghosts, monsters, whatever you want to call them. That will never go in a gallery, but you know, it was fun to do.
Do you see a difference in your painting depending on your mood?
Oh yeah. My mom died 3 months ago, and I took it really badly. You know, I guess nobody's ever prepared for the death of a parent, and no matter even the doctor tells you they're sick and you know they're going to die, and you think you're prepared. And for a few weeks, I was just out of it. No, I mean, understandably, I couldn't paint at all. So yeah, that was a bad time. And as far as any other times when I want to paint, usually I get up in the morning, and a lot of times I'll have an idea already. Maybe it started the night before or a few days before, or sometimes I'll just get up in the morning and say, I got this brand new canvas in the closet. I want to use blue and green, and I'm going to do something. I don't know what it is, and it may be something really great, or it may be something really awful that I end up painting over. I don't know. I just almost every day get up. Really
As long as you're producing something, you're gaining the experience.
I'm happy. Yeah. And it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. Sometimes I'll start a painting and then say, I'm not so sure about this. Put it away, let it dry. Come back to it 3 days later and look at it and go, oh, wait, this isn't so bad. I think I'm going to add something else to this. And it turns out wonderful.
I started a watercolor painting yesterday. I had some friends over for like an art circle gathering. And it started off really terrible, but I just kept adding to it. And I got to a point, I was like, Then I started like inking pen over it. And it's coming